Hello everyone, I'm Tilly Douglas from Visual Sense Crafts, and today I want to show you this beautiful entrelac stitch, which is kind of Tunisian crochet, and it works up beautifully, makes some lovely projects with it. And I've made this baby blanket which just turned out stunning, so I want to show you how to do this stitch today because I absolutely love doing this stitch, and I'm sure that you will like it too. So we'll crack straight on and I'll show you how to do it. So I made this baby blanket in this beautiful entrelac stitch, which it was so easy to do once I got the hang of it. It took a little while to get the hang of it. Once I got there, it was actually really easy to do and quite relaxing to work on. So I did this baby blanket, and the size of this is 36 inches by 22 inches, and you work across from this row of the white squares here. So you work across these squares to start with. So I did a little test size so I could work out how big each square would be, and then I multiplied it to get the size I wanted. So I've done 11 squares across, and you do multiples of 9 plus 1. So I multiplied 9 by 11 and then added 1, which is 11 times 9. 9 is 99, so it made it a nice round 100. So I chained 100, and then this is the size I got. And this is I didn't keep the label for this, but I know this is Woolcraft, and beautiful colour. And for this you should have used a 4mm crochet hook, but with this Tunisian style crochet you need to use a bigger hook, so I used a 5.5 for this one. And what we're going to do today is, let me just show you the back of it, because the back looks equally as good as the front actually. So this is the back. I don't know if you can see, it looks just as nice on the back, I think. It's a bit more textured on the back. So that's the back, just so you know what the back looks like. So we're going to start off by doing this light pink squares, and we've got 4 squares, and we do 9 chains for each square plus 1. So we've got 4 squares, so that's 36 stitches. Plus 1 is 37, so we chain 37. So slip stitch to start and chain 37. So that's our chain 37, and then we're going to work into this second chain from the hook, and we're going to go through the loop and pull up that yarn, and we're going to do that 5 times. 2, 3, 4 and 5. And this is going to be easy to remember because we're working in 5s most of the time. So we've pulled up 5 loops. We already had 1 loop on our hook from our start, so we pulled up 5, and then we're going to go back, pulling through 2 loops at a time, and we're going to do that 5 times. 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to work through these front ladders here. So we're going to go through that front and pull up a yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4, and for our 5th one we're going to go into this first chain that's not used. Be careful you don't go into this one, that's what we've already worked into. So we're going to go through the first chain that we haven't worked for our 5th loop, and then we're going to pull back through those 2 at a time 5 times. 3, 4 and 5. And we're going to do that exactly the same again. 1, 2, 3, 4 and into that next chain for our 5th loop, and then back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back through those ladders, pull up those loops, 2, 3, 4, and into the chain for 5, and then back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there we've got our 4 rows. So all we need to do now for this square is work back across these, but doing a slip stitch this time, and make sure you don't get this corner too tight because we have to work back into these corners. So slip stitch across, but keep that corner quite loose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and into that next chain for our 5th slip stitch. And there is our first square. So we're going to do exactly the same again, pulling up those loops into the chain 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the chain for 5, and back for 5. 4, 5, and then back across those loops for 5. 2, 3, 4, and into the chain for our 5th one, and back for 5. And then back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the chain for 5, and then back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there's our 4th row, and then we just need to complete this row with slip stitch, keeping this corner loose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the chain for our 5th slip stitch. I always struggle to say slip stitch. So across the next 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back across those ladders. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into that next chain for 5, and then back for 5. 3, 4, 5, back across those ladders. 2, 3, 4, and into the chain for 5, and back for 5. 5, back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the chain for 5, and back. And there is our 4 rows. So we just slip stitch across. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the chain, slip stitch for our 5th one, and then across those chains for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back across the ladders, 2, 3, 4, and in the chain for the 5th one, and back for 5. The next row, pick up those loops from the ladders, 2, 3, 4, and into the chain for 5, and back for 5. Back again across those ladders, 1, 2, 3, oops, 4, and into the chain for the 5th one, and back for 5. And that's our 4 rows. So we just slip stitch across, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into that last chain for our last slip stitch, and then fasten off. And that's our first row done. So now we've done our first row of squares, and I know it looks a bit curly, but that will sort itself out. That's exactly how this one looked when I did that one, so it will sort itself out. Now what we're going to do now is our purple row. So obviously this has got 4 squares and this has got 5 squares. So what we're going to do here is we're going to join our next yarn, this purple yarn, into this outside corner here. So we're going to work across there, and the way I do that is just to drag the yarn through. So you count your 4 stitches here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and join the yarn into that 4th stitch at the top, and then just simply drag the yarn through and tie a knot, and then drag that yarn back through so you've got a loop on your hook. And then we're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to work back along that chain of 5 just the way we did on our very first chain. So we're going to pull up a loop 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one is in the base of that stitch where we join the yarn. So that's 5. And then we're going to pull back through those loops 2 at a time 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. So everything's in 5s. It makes it very easy to remember. So we're going to go back along these ladders, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and our 5th one is in that next stitch there. So that's 5, and then back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the same again. Across for 5. 2, 3, 4, and in that top stitch for 5, and then back for 5. And then the same again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into that next stitch at the top for 5, and then back for 5. And there we have our 4 rows. So we just need to slip stitch back across that top row for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch into that very top corner stitch there. And this is where You don't want to be doing your slip stitches tight because you join back into that top corner. That's why you don't want them tight. And then we're going to work across the top of this stitch here, this square here. So we've worked across there, and now we're going to work down this side and join it onto that side. So easy to do, same as before. We're picking up all those loops, but this time it's from an existing square. So into that first ladder and pull up, and we're going to do that 5 times. 3, 4, and this time we're going to join it into, for our 5th one, into that corner there, so into that space there for our 5. So right into that corner, and then pull back for 5. And then our next row for 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the next one goes in the one that goes up that side. So into that one there for 5, and then back for 5. And then back again through those ladders. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next stitch up that side for 5, and back for 5. So you just carry on just the same as we did before, across the ladder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's our 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. So slip stitch back across, making sure not to do a tight on the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, and our last slip stitch into that very top corner there. So you carry on and I will meet you at the end. So you'll have 2 more to do, but on this last one it's slightly different. So do the next 2 and then I'll meet you back for the 5th square on this row. So for this last square we've done our 4 squares across, and for the last one we slip stitch into that corner just to finish off that last square, and then we go across these 4 just the same as before, so pulling up from that ladder. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and obviously then we've come to the end, so we've run out of those ladders, so we join it into the top. Just poke it through that top corner for your 5th one, and then pull through for 5, and then we're going to go back across that ladder, and you can see these end ones are very close together, so we go back for 5. 1, 2, 3, make sure you get the right loop for 4, and at the very end we're going to go through those 2 stitches there. So through those 2 stitches on the very end and pull through that loop, and then go back for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back again, across that ladder for 5, 2, 3, make sure you get that right stitch there, 4, and then turn it, and you will see the double stitch that you have to go through there to catch that end, through those 2 loops and pull through, and then back for 5, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then go back and pull up those loops for 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in that stitch at the end. It makes a nice neat chain when you do this at the end, so that both those loops, and then pull back for 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and that's our 4 rows. So now all we have to do is finish off that row by slip stitching across, and this is where I sometimes forget to go back. So a couple of times I've snipped the yarn off and thought, oh heck, I didn't go back and do my slip stitches. So you possibly might do that at some point, but I've done it a couple of times. So 4, and then into that last loop at the end, that double stitch right at the top, and slip stitch into that one, and then pull through and snip off the yarn, and that's our second row completed. So beginning to take shape now. So now we have our first row of the pinks and our second row of the purples, and now we're going to do this cream row, and for the cream we're going to join it at the top here. So we're going to join it there at the top, because we're working the inside diamonds. So we're going to join this one into the top of this corner, into there. So we'll do the same as we did before, and we're doing it into that corner stitch there. Same as before, just drag the yarn through and tie a knot. And then we're going to poke the hook through and pull that yarn through, and then work across there just the same as before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into that corner where that little gap is, right in that corner for 5, and then back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then exactly the same again, but this time we're working across there and up that side. So across that ladder for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into that next stitch up the side for the 5th one. And then back for 5. 2, 2, 2, 2 and 2. and then back across those for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next stitch up that side for 5. And then back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then back across the ladder, pulling up those loops for 5. 1, 2, 3, I need to just lift it with your finger, sometimes that last one can get a bit tight. 4, and the 5th one in the next stitch up the side for 5, and then back 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's our 4 rows. So then we just slip stitch across that row, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one into that top corner for 5. And that's our first square of that row. It's building up nicely now, and then across the top for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the corner for 5, and then back for 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So carry on with that right to the end, and I'll meet you back at the end. So that's our last square done, apart from just to slip stitch across that top. And this is a simple row because you don't have to work that outside edge. You just finish it off there, pull that loop through and snip it off. And that's that row done. So you carry on now with this pink row, and you start from this outside corner here. So you join your yarn into that outside corner. For this outside corner, you join your yarn into that last stitch there. You drag your yarn through and tie it off like we've done for the others. So always starting from this side and always starting with joining your yarn. And then drag that yarn through to make a loop, and then you chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're doing exactly the same as we did with this purple one. So you're working back along that chain of 5 by pulling up 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one into that base where you join the yarn for 5, and then pull back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And do exactly the same as we've done all the others. Four, and the 5th one into that side stitch, and then pull back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back. Into the side for the 5th one. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just keep remembering your 5s, that's all you need to do. So back for 5, 4 and the 5th one into that side stitch and back for 5. And that's our 4 rows. So now we just slip stitch back across the top. And slip stitch the last one, the 5th stitch into that top corner. And that's the start of our 4th row. We'll work this next square just the same as we've done before. So we're working across there and up the side. So just the same, count your 5s, 5 across, 2, 3, 4 and into that corner for 5. And then back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So exactly the same. You just continue just the same as we've done before. So I hope you like this stitch because I absolutely love it. And once you've learnt it, and you're working it, it's really a relaxing stitch to do. So I hope you find it is, and that you make lots of lovely projects, and I would be really pleased to see what you make. And if you've got any questions about it, just leave them in the comments below and I'll help you any way I can. Just let me know if you struggle. And that's it. It's as simple as that. I hope I've made this video so it's easy to understand. And if you've liked this video, please click the little thumbs up button and like, and subscribe and click the little bell notification at the side so you get notified when I bring out more videos. And I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Bye for now.